Hello and welcome. So, today we're going to talk about a really simple but honestly super powerful idea: how you can take a whole mess of numbers and turn them into a story that actually makes sense. You know that feeling, right? Like you're just drowning in information, but you're not really sure what any of it means? It happens to all of us at work, even in our personal lives. It's just so much noise, like trying to listen to 1,000 conversations at once. It's overwhelming.
I mean, just think about a typical retail business. They're tracking every single click on their website, every item you put in your cart, every comment on social media. It's just this constant, nonstop flood of information coming at them from all sides. But what if? What if you could cut through all that noise and find the actual meaning? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover. By the end of this, you'll see how to take all that chaos and turn it into clarity by, you guessed it, telling a story with your data. Okay, so this leads us to a really important point. Just having more data doesn't mean you have more answers. More isn't always better. You see, for most organizations, collecting the data, that's the easy part. The real challenge is actually using it to make a positive change. So many businesses are sitting on this mountain of information, but they just can't figure out how to make it useful. And that, of course, makes it really hard to make smart decisions. And this quote right here, it just nails it. Without the story, it is difficult to understand what the data is trying to tell you. Think about it. Numbers are just numbers. They're abstract. They don't have a voice until you give them one with a story. Otherwise, they're just silent. So, okay, if the problem is that the data has no meaning, then the solution is pretty simple, right? We have to give it meaning. And that is exactly where the power of storytelling comes into play. So what is data storytelling? Really, it's just the key to unlocking your data. It's about turning all those numbers into a narrative, a story, that helps business leaders actually take action. It's not just about the what, it's about finding the why behind it all. That story gives the context leaders need to see the big picture and figure out what to do next. Yeah, a good data story completely changes the game. It takes a boring old spreadsheet and turns it into a real tool for understanding. And when decision makers understand something, they trust it. That trust is what leads to confident, smart business decisions. Okay, that all sounds great, but what does this actually look like in the real world? How do these stories actually drive action? Let's get into it. All right, let's go back to that retail business we were talking about. Once they start telling stories with their data, wow, they can do so much. They can track inventory, for sure, but they can also identify why people are buying certain things, spot new trends before they blow up, and even recommend other stuff their customers might love. They can figure out the perfect price for an item, and even spot and shut down fraud. See, each of those is its own little story that leads to a really smart action. And here it is. This is what it looks like. This is the transformation. You go from that complete chaos of raw information to a clean, clear dashboard. Suddenly, you've got charts and graphs that tell you something important at a single glance. That is what a data story looks like. It's clarity. And this is why it is so important. The faster a business can understand what's going on, the faster they can make those precise decisions, the more competitive they're going to be. It's that simple. Speed and clarity give you a massive edge. All right, so where do you even begin with all this? Your journey starts right now. And honestly, the most important part is just taking that very first step. Just getting this one idea in your head that data needs a story to have meaning, that's it. That's the first step on your own data journey. It completely changes how you look at all the information that's constantly flying around you. So, what are your next steps? Well, first, you could partner up with the data experts in your organization. They can help you get what you need. Second, make sure your story gets to the right people, the ones who can actually do something with it. And finally, you got to make sure people can easily find and discover the story, so it becomes part of how things get done. So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. In your own life, in your own work, what story is the data all around you just waiting to tell?